everyone, it's Christian, Downtown Vancouver Realtor. This is the update for the fall 2019. I think it's very important that you know these numbers, so we're going to bring them to you. What I've done here is simplified this, right? Rather than have you look through 10 pages of stats and consumer price indexes, these are the key numbers. It's very simple, very easy. Let's take a look at October and compare that to earlier in January, and then right after that I'll share a couple of stories with you that's going to show that the market has really started to pick up. So let's get into it. This is an update here on the Vancouver downtown market. Okay, so that's going to be the downtown peninsula, condos and some townhouses. Look at these numbers, very important now. January 2019, earlier this year, we had a very slow market. Everybody remembers that. It was a ghost town for real estate, right? There were only 85 sales in the downtown Vancouver. Fast forward to last month, October, we had 199 sales. That's almost 2.5 times. So if you're at the office and you're chatting with colleagues around the water cooler and people are saying, hey, the market feels like it's picking up, it is. And these are the numbers that show that. Now, a couple other things you want to keep in mind is what's the inventory like, because that often has a direct well, not a direct, but does influence what you pay for a home down the road. In April, we had the largest amount of inventory at 969 homes in downtown Vancouver, right? That's all 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. It's everything, right? New stuff, old stuff, everything. That was available. Fast forward, last month, October, 716. So why am I showing you this? Well, it's very important. If sales are increasing, and the inventory is decreasing, well, what's going to happen to the sale price? Of course, it eventually will climb. Now, we're still off of probably 5 to 10% off prices from last year at this time. But when I look at these numbers, from what I mean, and if this trend continues, you're going to see the prices begin to go up, okay, and go up in 2020. Now, this is not just me. I was at a presentation with Concord Pacific about a month and a half ago, and they didn't get into it in this much detail, but one of the vice presidents of sales talked about the internal team and what they were forecasting for the market, and they were saying that the market had bottomed out. So that's Canada's largest builder, Concord Pacific. Of course, in the Falls Creek area, they built a lot of those condominiums out. These guys know what they're doing, and they're pretty on the ball. So if they see the market has bottomed out and is coming back, I tend to believe them. But I also believe just these numbers, and this is what we see happening right now. Now, I told you I'd tell you a couple of stories. And actually, just before we do that, I just want to add a couple more numbers here. If we looked at the number of condos and townhomes that sold on the west side, so not downtown, but just on the west side, so that's Main Street right over to UBC campus. Again, look at this. Earlier in the year, there would have been 63. In October, now earlier means January of this year. October, last month, 2019, there was 217. That's almost 4 times an increase in the number of sales. Not the price, but the number of sales. And again, as I said, eventually the price will increase too, obviously, when more units are being bought, okay? So now, what I wanted to do is tell you 3 stories just to illustrate this in action. And I'll give you an example. I had a listing actually late this summer, August, September. This was an East Vancouver townhouse. And pretty much the time we came on the market, you could feel, which was right around here, you could feel it changing. I was getting 3, 4, 5 phone calls a week to show this listing. We must have showed the home 35 to 40 times, and finally we sold it. And interestingly, when we listed it at just in the low 1.4s, and we didn't get too much interest. Once we reduced the price, I thought it was still a little bit high, in the high 1.3s, but we were getting a lot of interest, a lot of showings. And at that point, I was getting about 7 or 8 phone calls a week on the property. And initially, truthfully, I thought we were still high, but we weren't. And in this case, we had priced above the assessed value. A lot of owners, especially in Vancouver, they will think, oh, I've got to price my home right at, if this is the assessed value, I've got to be right above it or at it. And in the last year, a lot of homes, especially houses, have been selling well below $100,000, $200,000 below the assessed value. But now they're creeping back up and almost selling at just below, or getting up, in some cases in ours, selling right at the assessed value. So keep that in mind. A couple other things. Actually, just yesterday, I ran into a colleague in New West. He was telling me about a house that he had listed in Coquitlam. He thought it was $50,000 or too high. Sold within a week, right at over asking price. I think he said he had 2 offers on it. So I'm starting to hear more and more of those stories from my colleagues as well. And then even my wife, who has a listing in Marpole, has had 4 offers on this one home, which I thought was overpriced. And they've had 4 offers now on this one listing. So again, the movement is there. We are seeing more and more sales, as you can tell, obviously. And I think it's important that if you are buying, that you really pay attention to this, because usually within about 3 to 6 months, the prices will begin to follow. So keep that in mind. It's really hard to time the market. A lot of people try to do that, and it really is a fool's game. But I can certainly tell you that if you're trying to time it at this point in time, I think we are definitely out of the bottom. So that's just a little bit I wanted to share with you. If you're a seller, on the other hand, I guess this is good news again, because it's going to be a lot easier to sell your place. You're actually, when you look at these numbers, like the sales of 199 to only 716 available, that's actually a listing to sales ratio of 28%, which is considered a seller. That's considered a seller's market. So interesting. And we'll have to see how this plays out. Normally December, Christmas time is going to be slow, but if this continues, 2020 is going to be a lot more active than we thought it would be. So my name is Christian, and I'm a realtor here downtown Vancouver. Feel free to reach out to us. You've got our contact in the section below, and I would love to hear from you. Feel free to leave your comments in the comments section below. Thank you, and we'll see you next time, guys.